Hi. Happy 2026. I wanted to make a video today just to check in and say hi. Me and Hermes are hiking out at Papago Park near Phoenix, Arizona, which is where we've landed for the last few months, and we'll be here for the immediate future anyway. So yeah, I wanted to check in and give an update just on how I'm doing since the stem cell treatment and how things are going overall. I've had some people ask, and today, this morning, I was listening to Lee Harris's 2026 energetic overview, and the first thing he did was he invited us to sit in reflection on 2025, the things that we were grateful for. And in doing that, I was really brought to tears and realized that 2025 for me was this experience of extremes on both sides of the spectrum. On New Year's Eve last year, well, actually December 31st, 2024, so New Year's Eve leading into 2025, I came down with this horrific, I'll just say, illness, where I had an extremely high fever for days. I was completely delirious. I don't even know how I took care of Hermes or myself for those days. Like, I really don't remember several days. What I do remember was that in one of those states of delirium, Spirit came to me and said, "You're okay. You're not dying, but you are having a DNA activation, and your entire physical being is changing." And it took me 2 weeks or a little bit more to actually fully recover and feel like I was completely physically well again. It was nothing I've ever experienced before. And in November, so just a month before that happened, I had re-injured my knee. And so when I came out of this activation and recovered from this illness, my knee was in a really bad state. I could barely walk. I was in this huge brace full time. I couldn't do much of anything without wearing that. And even wearing it, I was in just constant pain. I had to quit working. I had to leave the job that I had at the time. And I ended up spending like 6 weeks in deep research on what alternatives were available to me to heal my knee, because I had 3 different orthopedic doctors tell me that only a knee replacement was going to fix it. And I refused that answer. I'm in my early 40s, and I'm not having a knee replacement. I'm not doing it. Not when I know that there are other options available. And unfortunately, at this point in time, they're somewhat hidden from us. But I did the deep research. I trusted my intuition. I drove with Uber and Lyft for days, weeks, months to get the money that I needed. And I took myself to Mexico for my birthday last year, which was in May. And I had my stem cell treatment done. This way, bub. And within a few days, I started to feel improvement. the inflammation and pain started to subside within days. Within weeks, I was walking around with no pain, no issues. I was out of the brace within 3 days of the injections. This is such a beautiful view out here. Within a few months, I was going on short hikes, and I made tons of videos I made several videos on my progress, on what the treatment was about, what it was like, my whole experience, and I did updates as far as my progress. So if you're interested, please check those out. I really documented as much as I could to help people who are trying to also make a decision as to whether or not that's a right option for them. And now here I am. I'm 8 months post-treatment. I've gone on multiple 3-mile hikes. I did a 4-mile hike the other day. I'm pain-free. I can do squats. Well, not squats, but I can squat to the floor and pick things up now, including Hermes. I'm not really lifting weights. I'm building up to that in my PT. The one thing that I'm still really focused on is being able to go up and down stairs. I can do it without a handrail now. It's still a little slow because I'm super mindful of my steps and going up and down, so it takes me a little longer. But at this point in my progress, it's more about retraining my muscles and my brain. My knee is completely supportive. Sometimes my brain stops me and it says, oh no, that's going to hurt, because I was in pain for so long and I was so limited. And now it's just reminding myself that it's okay. And I'm still working to retrain some of my muscles that atrophied and just weren't used for so long, and so they forgot how to function. So that's what I'm focused on right now. It's just building muscle, a range of motion, and I feel great. And it was just so interesting to reflect on that this morning and remember the first half of my year was so hard. I was in so much pain. I was so limited in my movement. I felt so stuck. I had days where I was just completely depressed. And what kept me going was me finding the option of the stem cell treatment and just focusing on that and knowing that I was going to have it done. And I just had so much faith and trust that it was going to work. And then when I got it and started feeling the progress, my entire life shifted. Hermes and I traveled all over the U.S. We went to Glacier National Park, to the Tetons, to Yellowstone, to Northern California and Napa Valley, all over. We saw a pyramid in Wyoming and did breath and glyph activation. The second half of the year was just so freaking incredible. And it's continuing on into this year. We have just taken a quantum leap into our evolution as humanity, as the earth, and the beings that we are living upon her. And it's going to be such a fun, wild ride. And I'm just so happy to be here for it. So I really just wanted to share this update and just let you all know, like, I appreciate your love and support so much, my friends and family and people just that were here cheering me on and with me through this whole process. And thank you so much. I love you. And I'm just so happy to be here alive, experiencing this moment. So thank you. Happy 2026. Sat Nam.